In true fashion. Are we live?
Yes, we're live. We know that.
Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
it's live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Freedom Exchange Project. I'm going to click a few buttons, get us situated
Turn
here.
off my phone.
Turn off,
here
please
real quick.
use.
Yes.
So we have a special episode today, and we just said, should we get Kleenex for this? And all of a sudden, I feel like I need a Kleenex.
Oh no, we've been on for 30 seconds.
I know.
5
That just needs to come
seconds.
out
That's
really
right.
quick. Shoot, that wasn't the plan.
Oh.
We are not going anywhere. We are just pivoting. So let's get all this under control. We are just pivoting. And so we thought we'd get on and do a little special episode where it was just the two of us and kind of explaining what's coming and where we're going. Because you have a new fun opportunity. I've been started in an opportunity that's been taking a lot for me. And this has been such a great balance in my life to have the Freedom Exchange to touch on that part of the passion of my heart, and you are doing the same, but yours is kind of a bigger thing right now. So
It's not bigger. It's just different.
And it's taking you away from me where I can't touch you and play with you all the time. So I'm going to get my tears controlled, and will you share with our audience what you're doing?
Well, thank you everyone for showing up. My name's Kristy. This is Allison. Did you say that?
I just immediately start crying.
Okay. And we've been doing the Freedom Exchange for a year and a half. And the first time, it's always cool when you have a friend that you're like, hey, here's what I want to do. And you signed up for it. So it was great. I love it. And so we had just been wanting to amplify voices of people that have been incarcerated because we know all the amazing things that they do. And so we had pretty much, should I talk about that? What? Okay. Well, first, let me just tell you. So we're pivoting because I got a job offer in New Orleans. Did they say New Orleans? Nolans.
You'll figure it out and let me know later.
New Orleans, like California, Oregon girl would say. And it's with Operation Restoration as a lead life coach, and I'll be also working on Ban the Box in different states around the country, which is so crazy, right?
Full circle.
Yes, full circle. And so I'm not going to be in the studio at Catalyst anymore with Allison. When I come back, maybe for Christmas and stuff, we'll be here. And
I'm so mad at her.
Yeah,
Just
but
kidding. I'm not.
I know. So this is our last time. So we don't want to bore you guys with all the crying stuff, but we just want to let you know because people have been asking, like, I hope you guys are not stopping the Freedom Exchange, which is really lovely because you never know, you're talking to anybody when we're doing this, but it's I think it's really important for people to know how amazing people that have been in prison are, and it really is a beautiful thing for us to get to meet so many great people. Like I had Kendrick call me, hey, you coming through Texas? And Lynn's like, hey, I have a guest house you can stay in Arkansas. And I'm like, I haven't looked at the map yet. Daisy in El Paso, and it's great. So I feel really fortunate with that. So thanks everyone that's been here. And this has been a crazy ride. And we're just going to talk a little bit about that ride. And I just want to thank you. I mean, I've kind of blocked it out because, you're my person. And like on all our hikes and walks late at night, like pitch black late at night with just a white sweatshirt on so cars don't get us. And I don't know how that's going to work in New Orleans, but
No, we've decided we're going to still do our walks.
Yes.
We're just going to be a
do it
long
on the phone.
ways away. This is pretty cool as I look at our background and I see the space that we're in. And we started in my dining room with computers propped up on books and lamps out of sight, but trying to give us good lighting. And one of my daughters maybe doing some kind of tech support for us. Like it just started pretty crazy. And we did something that was out of my comfort, which was jumping right in without all the nuts and bolts in place. And in true Kristy fashion, she's just like, let's try it. And if you watched us in the comedy relief early on, was
that one time that we did the whole thing with the black screen. That was, and I feel bad for our guests mainly.
I know it was Kimberly.
It was Kimberly, and then with Jessica's
Yes.
sister and stuff. Yes, but we thank you guys for all the grace, and we're just here to prove that you don't have to have all the answers and know how to do everything perfectly in order to have the urgency to for a cause to fight.
Yeah. So I was thinking it'd be fun to interview you today, sitting side by side. How's that feel?
It's good. It's
Okay.
good. I'm excited for what's ahead, and I'm always just really shocked about how the universe works in order to bring things to fruition.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Well, I've been absorbing your story for 5+ years, and there's a lot of standout moments, and there's a lot of moments that I needed to hear your process to help me through what was about to be my process
Yep.
early on. And then since then, we've both just been piggybacking and leapfrogging each other through our journey and supporting each other and speaking truth to each other when we needed it. And so there's been some poignant moments that have really stuck with me that have helped me push through some hard things myself. And I wanted to go back to that journey. One of the
Okay, sorry.
one of the very first things that you said that stuck with me was you were talking about before your sentencing, you were arrested, and your lawyer told you were going to speak with a prosecutor and that you needed to be honest. And doing his due diligence, he let you know that depending on the questions that were asked, that honesty could get you 20 years. And you were still shell shocked at the fact that you were even arrested, caught. It was becoming public knowledge. Your family was aware of what was going on. Like all of that bigness. 20 years was another gut punch. Like what? Like 20 years? And so I felt like to begin our interview, there was a crossroads there where you had to decide honesty versus continuing to self-protect and hide, and you had to decide which way am I going to go with this. So I thought you could share what that mental process was for you and what you ultimately chose to do and the outcome of that.
Well, there's always a battle between are you going to live in integrity or are you going to live the way you're comfortable before? And so, first though, I had already come off the heels of him wanting me to tell because that's what they do.
Tell on
Tell
everybody
on
else.
everybody in my case. There was 5 of us, and so. Of course, I wasn't going to tell because I, had my part in it, and so, but he was very adamant and angry that I wasn't going to tell. And the only reason that I felt comfortable not telling, because everyone wanted me to tell, was another girl that was in prison with me in the detention center. And she said, Kristy, when you lay your head down at night, how you have to do what you're comfortable with. And that was the first time I chose what I'm comfortable with, and I didn't tell. And so he was not happy about that. And then we did, I think it was called a proffer, and I said my truth of my own part in it. And then later my attorney came and said, okay, they want to talk to you again, so you need to be honest. And at that point I'm like, yes, I'll be honest. I'm this new person. I'm going to be, honest and live in integrity. And so he said, okay, you heard me. And he goes, but I just need you to know you could get 20 years if you're honest. And then it's like, holy crap. And so it was a process. I struggled for a long time with like what I was going to say and how, that's a big statement. And then, so I pretty much wasn't sure what I was going to do all the way up until almost walking into the office. You go to the van in the courts, you go on the van to the courtroom, and all the guys are there. And I think I was asking them, what do you think I should do? And, they all have different, advice. And then finally, when I was in the holding cell, I just thought, I have to be honest. I can't go down that other road of, being a liar. And I was honest. I was ready to be totally 100% honest. And I was at peace when I made that decision. Mm-hmm. And then they asked me questions that they had already asked me, all the same questions. And I was like, why? When are they going to ask me other things? And they didn't. Mm-hmm. And then he said, okay, I think we're done. And I look at my attorney. He looks at me and like grabbed me out of there so fast. And he's like, oh my God, freaked out. What the hell? I can't believe it. Let's get out of here. Like,
and then to remind our audience, how many years were you sentenced?
I was sentenced to 5.
So there you go. As I remember you telling me that, and it helped me later on when I kind of came to that same crossroads. And it's scary. It is so scary to say, you hear the truth.
Panic.
The truth will set you free, but you have a lifetime of self-protection in your body, of shame, early shame. We don't know about it yet, that's what it is. But survival, all the things. And our muscle memory is to maybe hide and protect
at all costs.
And you chose in that moment that being free and open and finally like letting that go was worth whatever was going to come. And you've lived like that since.
I call it my Abraham moment, if anyone knows the story in the Bible, because I was like putting my life on the platter. Here you go. I mean, I can't even imagine I was there. And then to get 20 years by just being honest about my own part in it, and I didn't have to. Yeah. I didn't have to do it. So yes, that was the first trust factor.
And then that wasn't, you've had many along the way, but I have another one I specifically remember, and it's so you went to reentry court as a way to minimize your probation.
Get
by
a
year off. So your judge, amazing Judge Ann Aiken, encouraged you to go back to school, and that was a big deal. It's been a lot of years since you were in school, and so you decided to do that, which is a big scary thing. And in the process of filling out applications and scholarship forms, there was a box, and that box, I would say, was another crossroads for you. So I wanted you to kind of walk through that process.
Well, it's funny because now that box is like all up in my grill, all in my world now. But yeah, so you're just moving along, thinking, oh look, I'm going to school. I'm filling out lots of scholarship applications, and you write millions of essays. It's a lot of work, but you're doing it, and you think you're just growing and changing, and then you come to a box where it says, have you ever been convicted of a felony? And I thought, ooh, there that is. And I said, yes, I checked it. And then it said, explain. And then, so I started writing, because I'm in my space that I'm in. And then shame starts creeping in. Are you sure you should say that? I don't know. I wouldn't say that. And then they give you this tiny little box to explain, well, when I was born, how do you explain? And so then I panicked, and I erased it and wrote more and erased it again. And then I called people, what do I do? Because, you want to do the right thing and be honest, but your whole body's telling you, don't do that, don't tell them. And so I wrote something out, I don't remember exactly, and at the end I just wrote a little sentence that said, please give me a chance. And I put a little smiley face, and I thought, that's so screwed up that I have to beg for a chance to be in school. But then, there's always that statement that I've grown up my whole life saying, well, then you shouldn't have gotten in trouble. So there's that fine line, but now I understand. So I made a mistake, and I paid for my mistake, and so that should not be a barrier for me to get into school.
Right, because so many people have made other mistakes, bigger, smaller, it doesn't matter, but mistakes that we don't have to put in a box.
Can you imagine if everybody had
right, the worst, I would say the worst thing, meaning whatever society deems as the worst thing.
Every year you feel shame about.
Yeah, that you would have to, every time something important comes along, that you would have to explain yourself in that. I know that I don't have to do that.
In a little box, like a little tiny box.
Right, like you said, yours started with birth. Yeah. I mean, at birth you had challenges that led you all the way to where it led you.
And you know what? Most of our guests.
Yes. I do.
Yes.
I was
starting at birth. So I'm not an anomaly. Most of our guests.
But we don't all have to write it in a box.
No.
And so I found that I just respected so much that was a definite crossroads for you. It wasn't something you just didn't think about. You really put some thought into it and how to say this. And that was a huge growth moment for you, because to articulate it, whatever you put in at the end of the day in that box was something that you had really worked through emotionally and used your resources. Yes. But you did it.
I did it. I don't know if I got that scholarship or not.
What's the statistic about on college applications when people have to come across that box? How many just throw the application away and don't want to face it?
60%.
Don't even try.
No.
Because of that box.
Right.
Think you banned the box.
So now we don't have it in Oregon anymore. We passed that law.
So exciting. Look at you. Hot stuff. All right. So I'm on a 3-part.
But you know what? I have a thought.
Yes.
That just came to me. What if we made T-shirts, white T-shirts with, this is awesome.
This is what we do all the time.
We got a lot to
on
do.
Our walks,
and
but we're going to do right here
one day. So to get a white T-shirt with a big box in the back or on the front, and with like a marker, and then to say, I want you to write like the worst thing you ever did, and you get this free T-shirt. And then everyone, like, we'll call it, I don't know.
Let's
something.
develop that on our hike
Yeah.
after our
Okay.
talk.
That would be
We'll
dope.
develop
Just
that.
to see who would do that. I'd love to see all the.
It's a hard thing. I don't want to write mine in that box.
You wouldn't?
I don't know.
You would. I would make you.
Okay. So the final crossroad I want to talk about today is something. So this is for all of us, honestly. This is, like we've been saying, each time you've had to confront a decision to be honest with yourself and with the public. It's been a soul search to figure out how to do that and where you want to land in that.
And will it be worth it?
And you've been out of prison for 5 years. You've got a gazillion friends all across the country. You have family here with us. You're doing life awesome. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, in the last few days, you come across another crossroads that came unexpectedly, and you're like, shit, am I still doing this? And before you share, if I had to just go down the street and every once in a while someone's going to come at me and bring the thing up and I have to explain it or I have to justify or defend, when I'm just trying to learn and grow and let go and move beyond the worst thing I ever think I probably did, I even don't like saying that. I feel like a huge growth moment in my life. It's painful and I don't want to keep going back there. But here you are doing so many amazing, incredible things that a form can't do justice. Right. And you even just the other day had to deal with it again. So do you want to share that?
And that goes for anybody coming out of prison. Anyone coming out of prison that is attempting to not go back, like meaning get a job, like doing things that are uncomfortable, they have to deal with that all the time. And it's really, just to take it one step further, and it's not just if you were doing your life and running into someone, it would be like, oh good, I'm so excited, I got my kids that can join this thing, and oh honey, look, we could join this thing, and then they say, wait, is there anything you've ever done? I need you to explain that before you can even get into this thing that you've been trying to get into. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's not even just a question. It's like, are you worthy to enter into the area that you want to?
And it doesn't matter in the regards of being incarcerated that you served the time that was given to you based on the punishment they felt was appropriate for what happened, and you've done that. Yeah. And now you're thriving and you're doing well, and you don't
probation's over.
You don't get to move on because of these certain things in our society, which we're working on and we're talking about that. But for you, you are not immune to it. So something just happened.
Yeah. So I'm like I said, moving to New Orleans, and I was looking for apartments, and I found a great one, and I, spent a lot of time working on with one of the gals and on the application, and then all of a sudden, no, it was first she said, okay, well, we'll do this and we'll do that, and then we'll do the background check, and I was like, it didn't even occur to me that was going to happen. And so it just gave me a little sting, and I said, okay, that sounds good. And then I hung up, and then I immediately went on to Google search, like background check in Louisiana. What does that mean exactly? And so there was a whole bunch of different things that it said. And then I saw someone that I know who's fighting for voting rights in Louisiana and tenant rights. And I thought, okay, good, I'm going in the right place. And then I looked at the application. I was like, and it said, in the past 7 years, if there's any drug offense and other offenses. And I thought, okay, mine's 8 years from the conviction date. But then right above that, it said automatic denial if you've ever had a felony. And I was like, it just immediately, shame came back so fast. I was not even expecting it. Like you said, I'm in such a great place. And to have that come back with such a force, that was, it just almost choked me out. And so my natural reaction was, well, fine, I'm just going to move to Mexico and go do my own life, F them, and then I got angry, and then I got a headache, and then it was just all the things. And I thought, damn, it's my 9-year clean date, and I can't get an apartment, like automatic denial. So and then I called somebody. I said, should I just be totally honest? And here we are again. Now I have a great credit score, 5-year history of excellent rental, time. And my landlord said, don't tell them. And I'm like, well, they're not you. And so anyway, he goes, I'll call them if you want. And then I had people say that they would call, but the gal said, it's just, is like the computer will automatically spit it out. And so then I, didn't threaten her, but I pretty much said, ironically, I'm moving to this state to fight this exact thing.
Is
so
that
you really,
crazy?
Yeah, you really don't want me fighting this too, because and then I was like, I'm tired, and then I thought, what about a poor woman who has 2 kids and doesn't have the support, and then you have a fee, and it was the last one. She said the price was going to go up, and so it's like it was urgent that I did it that day, and I'm like, well, I would lose the fee, but I thought, well, I'm just going to pay it, because if I have to fight this, then I'm gonna, let them know that. But I have the ability to do that. Other people don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so, say it's me with 2 kids without that support, and someone comes by and says, hey, can you take this in your car a few hours? I'll give you $5,000. I would say yes. I mean, I could see how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the gal that. I explained the whole thing. She's probably like, dang, girl, I'm just a leasing agent.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, should that stigma stay with someone their whole life? And so anyway,
Yeah.
it was shocking how fast it came. And then I do what I do. What I've learned to do is speak out loud on social media has been an amazing thing for me. Here's what's going on. People gave me lots of resources for a Fair Housing Act. The president of the university that I went to saw my tweet. She's like, Kristy, I'm on vacation, but if you need a reference, please let me know. I'll write one. And then right then it hit me. It's like, what happens, the thing's never really the thing.
Right.
It's always something else. And so I thought, well, great. She's someone who probably knows a lot of academia people. Maybe she'll say, can you believe this is happening to this person? When I told her, my GPA and all that, so maybe that ripple effect will go out. But if we just don't push past it and just, put our head down and walk away, which I'm sure happens all the time, then nothing changes. So that's why we do what we do. And she did call me and she said, Kristy, I couldn't wait to tell you. So I did get the apartment, but man, it was,
Who saw that coming? Yeah.
Yeah, I was angry. And so now I'm like, all right, well, I'm glad I didn't have to fight you on my way fighting.
I love the fight in you, I guess. The fight in you, because it would be easy to give up and walk away or not try to do the thing, and you keep doing that. You keep showing up, and
it's not fair. So that's the thing. That's what makes me so angry. It's like you can't just say felony ever in your whole life. That's bold.
And I like how you use your resources, and you're a crazy social media girl that has so many connections all over the place, but you've worked for that. You've stayed connected. You've reached out. You've been humble. You're willing to take help and advice from people, and they show up for you. And it seems like in everything that you're doing, you share it on social media, and then whatever that thing is, those people come out and start supporting you, and it happens over and over again, and it's impressive.
So crazy.
It's impressive. I know it takes a lot of work and time, but you're using your resources, and I would say that we all have them, and it can look different than the way yours look, but we all have resources around us, and I've been surprised in the last year, some that have shown up for me that I didn't see coming, and so it's important to humble ourselves and put our stuff out there a little bit in whatever arena that looks like for you, because you never know who's going to show up for you. But if you're quiet and you live in shame and you hold it all in, which is understandable,
that's a survival
it's
trauma
not going
response
to put future you where you want future you to be.
Right.
So we do need to share in safe environments with people that we feel like we can trust, because it opens up doors.
Right. And
compassion for you.
Yes. Yeah. And it really heals humanity. It kind of sounds kumbaya-ish, but it's true. It's like I'm watching threads of connection happen with people that are becoming really close to me that I didn't even really know before. And there was a gal, Iola, she's like, so how to go with apartment hunts? And I told her, and she sent me some connections. I said, thank you so much. She goes, girl, we're family. And I started crying. I was like, damn, it's just, who doesn't want all that love, Malik says, you have more love than Wimbledon.
More love than Wimbledon.
Well, because I share the fight, and I'll fight with you, and you're that way too. So it's great. It's a good thing. So now we're going to be on two sides of the country.
We are. We're still going to work out those logistics, and we will put out what the plan is and who our guests are, just like we have been doing. And
Listen, we have a great guest. His name's Maurice Clifton, and he's in Mississippi. And he said, well, maybe we could do it in person because it's only a 4-hour drive. He already has a studio in Jackson.
Kristy's heading to Jackson, and I'll be here in Ashland, Oregon.
I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, you're going to be all over the place in different places. I'm like, where are you today? Where are we doing the interview?
I got to work
today?
besides all that. I'm going to be working, but yeah,
So,
this is a beautiful
I'm excited
thing.
for you. This was never in question that you would be going bigger and better and higher and new and taking risks, and it's so exciting, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I'll come visit lots.
Yeah, for sure.
If I can, I would.
For
love to.
sure. And, I just want to say, too, that's like, I know you had thought sometimes that maybe because you weren't incarcerated that, do you fit? Do you belong? Can you relate? And the answer is yes. We never want to stay within our same circle of circumstance, because that's the bridge that we love. And you bring such a great perspective. Everyone's already said, like, you're the best interviewer ever. And so I appreciate you in the midst of opening a new business, going through lots of hard stuff, still showing up for our people. I appreciate that.
Well, I love our
very much.
people. This is lights a fire in my belly because I didn't know it for so many years that I was dealing with an incarcerated father. I had no idea the impact it was having on me until we connected, and then it was like, whoa, that's actually been a really impactful thing in my life. I just didn't put words to it and acknowledge it, and here we are. So it's very exciting. I love you. Oh, cry time. Okay, well, this is our little quick episode. I'm going to start and finish the same.
I don't know why I'm not crying. It's kind of
I think you are in get shit done mode.
Yeah, I am kind of.
You are, and I am in, like, my friend is leaving. And so we're going to sign off, and we're going to go do possibly our last night hike right now, but it's beautiful in Oregon, and the trails are calling our name.
Yes, and thank you to all of our people that have watched and commented and liked. We also have a YouTube channel for all those that aren't on Facebook that they could watch and participate in, and we're just going to keep it growing. It's beautiful to have our guests on and then have conversations and friendships with them throughout. I love that part. And so if anybody, has any questions or anything, we're always here. And if anyone comes to Ashland, Oregon, Allison's here, or New Orleans, I'm going to be there. Isn't that weird? I'll be there.
It's weird how fast it all happened. I'm still absorbing it all, but super happy for you. Okay.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you too.
Thanks.
Okay, guys. Thank you for joining us on this little special episode, and we will see you.
Probably in give us maybe. I think we have Topeka Sam on next. I'm not sure the
Couple
date.
weeks.
August.
But you'll see. We'll put it out there. All right.
Bye, guys.
Signing off for now.